That up there is a police vehicle. He left his lights on, your tax dollars at work. Maybe he's a working man. When a male is victimized by a woman, the punishment is instant. It doesn't matter who's to blame. You're supposed to believe the woman. And if you don't believe the woman, then you're a misogynistic pig. And people will work together to destroy your life. And we have seen this. We as men have to be afraid of this. We have to be afraid that some blonde-haired, blue-eyed bimbo is going to pretend that we're all perverts trying to touch her nays. But the reality is, why would we want to? Wow, maybe they had a shoplifter. There's a second police vehicle coming. See? I wonder if they had a shoplifter. Perhaps. Over at the Fred Meyers, it's pretty obvious based on the evidence that's on the internet already that I was the victim and so was Tom. It also shows that because she had more resources than me, Tom was willing to take the abuse. He didn't want to be cold and sleeping in my vehicle next to me. Hell, I wouldn't want to sleep in a vehicle next to me in this thing. I fart, I burp, and I snore. But then all she had to do after vandalizing my vehicle is pretend like poor her, she's the victim. Now listening to the conversations between her and I, and of course Tom and I, it's pretty goddamn obvious that Tom was playing head games too. But so were the cops as well. I mean, they didn't want to do anything about it. They allowed Molly to have free reign of this town and harm anybody that she wanted. Fred Meyers allowed that as well. Eventually they had to kick Molly out. Why did I get kicked out of Fred Meyers? Because some nut job who wanted to have a control over another human being, well, that human being was me, and she fucked up by doing that. Do not put my fucking evidence in jeopardy. It will not end well. I will speak up. I will get vocal. I will tell who my predators are. And I will do so publicly, with no qualms. Well, it doesn't look like they arrested anybody. But there's a second officer going in. He's the one walking by the white van. Whatever it is, it doesn't look like he's in too much of a hurry. It doesn't look like he's swinging at anybody or trying to hit anybody. Matter of fact, I might go over to the grocery outlet and get something else to eat later on. I have to be a customer in order to have access to services. First floor services are nice because then I don't have to go upstairs or go through an elevator. Services where I can park right next to the building, pretty close to the elevator, that's a lot nicer because it means that my fatigue will not be as prevalent. I can't carry a whole lot of weight without my back spasming. I already know that muscle relaxants don't work on me. Most medications don't work right on me. That's because when I was younger, I had a bunch of medications that I had to take. Had to. You don't get a choice. You either eat the meds that they give you or they inject them into you. You don't have a choice. It doesn't matter if you did anything wrong or not. What matters is that they want to put you on meds. They want to test out their meds. They want to put you on medications enough that it's unsafe for adults. But yet, if it's a child in the foster care system, it's somehow allowed. that's not okay. Looks like the cops kind of parked a little too close there, and there's a guy who's trying to get out. He's having problems getting his stuff in his vehicle because the cop is parked so close. On the bright side, it doesn't look like they shot anybody. It doesn't look like they arrested anybody. I'm trying my best to be peaceful in a world that absolutely refuses to have it. You guys get to see how people threaten my life over and over and over again. People who didn't bother to find out what was going on. They just hated based on a rumor. A lot of people want to pretend like nobody would harm me now because they found Natalie's killer. No, that's not how it is. I was never allowed to show the truth of the matter. And people harm me to this day, and you don't stop to think of the long-term effects. Especially for a disabled male who can't defend himself. You won't allow me because I'm male. And you use the term mentally ill very loosely to try to pretend I'm schizophrenic, and that just doesn't work. There are certain criteria that you have to meet. There's also an amount of time that is required. There's also the fact that there's supposed to be friends and family involved in anything like that. Just in case there's been a situation where there was a recent loss, such as the death of a friend or family member. That happens a lot. The loss of a friend in the way that they just throw you away like you're trash. That happens a lot. The loss of friends because they wanted to tell you to do things that you didn't have the ability to do. And because of that, they want to be hateful and mean. See, death is not the only loss. And then we have to change our words, don't we? We have to say unalive. Because if you type dead, you might get in trouble. American censorship. Showing the whole truth would have made a lot of difference. A lot of people wanted to say, oh, well, I can't do nothing. I'm in a different state. Well, take a look at where the Bollingers were able to do their bullshit from. All the way in Virginia. All the way in Texas. My predators were able to call in anything that I did from anywhere in the country. And no matter what, I wasn't allowed. When I got the ability to record, that's what really started pissing people off, especially the police. They thought I was an autistic retard they could just railroad. Well, I've become one of the biggest thorns in their side in the entire goddamn country. Over 30 charges in 11 situations in Chapel, Nebraska. Dual County, Nebraska alone. That's pretty significant. Especially when that's given the fact they literally had to drop every one of the charges. Every single time. Same thing in Colorado. With the exception of when I was tortured and lied to in the Arapahoe County Jail. That was a setup and everybody knew it. On the bright side, at least I did something desperate enough to get people's attention. These people would not stop harming me and have not stopped harming me because you don't care about men. You don't care about the disabled and you don't care about the homeless. You have to have your victim class to take advantage of. For me, I have to be afraid of even going into the proper town. I try to stay down here because I'm less likely to get fucked with by Farnsworth or Molly or any of the people that they decided to spread rumors to. Down here, I don't have to worry about some of them church folks passing their judgment as badly. Protecting myself and my loved ones is important. And a lot of you guys, even with all the evidence from my friends and family of them and their lives being threatened, you still look the other way. Why is that? Why is it that they told me those things for literally years and also promised to come forward for literally years, but they never tried? The police were allowed to destroy their body cameras after a year. But you guys didn't fucking care, did you? I don't want to be here, but I'm not trying to kill myself. They say that you're suicidal and you've got suicidal ideations because you're trying to tell them about people who are bullying you until your life is unbearable. And what do? They take you to a nuthatch, call you mentally ill. You are automatically now discredited and your predators get a step up. They get to harm you again. They've had to drop all the charges, sure. But the fact is, they put those charges on me to begin with to prevent me from turning them in. Police officers refuse to do their job for disabled homeless males. And that is your fault for being selfish pieces of shit. Sure, you go to a fucking rally like a KKK member, but you don't speak up in court. You don't speak up to the public. You hide like cowards. Yeah. Oh, there's that second cop. He doesn't have his lights on. Hopefully he'll put them on before he leaves the parking lot. Maybe it was some vandalism or something like that. It seemed like they were sort of there on professional business. But this is what I've been forced into. For once in my life, somebody was finally willing to actually help me despite the fact that I was born with a penis. Her name was Tamara. And that was all the way back in 2017. When she quit her job, there was no other Tamara. None of these other people who pretended to be autism advocates ever came through. Not Kara Johnson Miles, who ended up being just another web sleuth. Not Megan Misigatis, who wanted to make a deal and then play let's change the deal, let's change the deal. Now let's change the story, let's change our memory. Let's blame it on chemo brain. If you've got chemo brain, then maybe you should record everything, you fucking nut job. How many people wanted to use I've got cancer as an excuse to look away? As an excuse not to keep their word. Really? You've all got cancer? When Sarah Bacon wanted to pretend like she's got cancer. You know, there was a girl named Shatina Bell that I went to school with. She had leukemia and she died. Shatina Bell. So when she picked her cancer, she picked the right one. She picked one with an emotional attachment, whether she did it on purpose or not. Probably not, because just like everyone else who wanted to get on and pretend like they were my friend and they wanted to help me turn it in, but no matter what, there was some excuse. Well, those excuses added up to a lot of time. And the more they procrastinated and pretended that they were going to, the more desperate a situation I was in. And the more I had to believe that one of these people was more than just a web sleuth. But none of you were. None of you speak up to this day where it makes a difference. None of you call APS about this. None of you. None of you called APS about the way Jamie was treated either. What are the chances that Jamie is still in the Dalles, Oregon, being victimized by the same people to this day? It's pretty fucking significant. You know how we end these videos. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and your sister's, and no victim left behind.